Hey guys, I'm on a roll here. I just finished another album. This is the Steampunk album I told you about in my last video. This one is 8 by 8 size, so I made this one larger. I used the Graphic 45 Steampunk Debutante paper collection for this, which is beautiful. It's got just gorgeous colors. I used some other papers too. I used different papers from different Graphic 45 lines where the colors match, so I used some of those inside this along with the Steampunk collection. And on this I used a piece of leather for the binding, which I thought would kind of look good with this kind of a theme. So I used this kind of a suede piece of leather. And on the front I used this chain, and I held it down with little brads so it moves. And I put some Tim Holtz gears on there, and I got this little spinner from Tim Holtz. A lot of Tim Holtz stuff in this album. I got some brads holding down this graphic that I printed out, and I aged it, kind of made it look old, and I put this picture frame on there, and I used some Tim Holtz other piece of metal, these little wings here, so I got that on the cover. And then I always have a hard time keeping the bigger albums in the frame, so I'll try to pay attention to what I'm doing here so you can see the whole thing. Got a little chipboard die cut here of a clock, and I put some flowers on it. And I got some, I did another graphic printout here, and I aged the paper, kind of make it look old. Some clocks and gears on that. And here's a graphic from the Graphic 45 paper. And I made 3 tags. I used a kind of a shiny black paper for this. I got that one. And then on the back, I have this piece of paper. I had a couple of sheets of this paper that I really loved. It's a K & Company paper, and I bought this years ago. And I just thought it was an unusual pattern. It's got little clocks. It's got little fans on it and some owls. And just thought it was really an interesting combination of pictures, but I could never find anything that it would go with. And then finally, I did this album, and I took out those papers, and I used it. So I got this picture, and that one, and that one, and I backed them all with that paper, and it's really beautiful, shiny. Really glad I got a chance to finally use that paper. And then I used a couple other printed papers, and I backed them with black cardstock. And on this page, I like this paper, so I kind of kept that blank. You could put a picture on there or leave it blank, and then I used more of the Tim Holtz metals on there. That looked kind of neat. You open that up like that. I have this here. It's a Steampunk, some little Scrabble tiles. And I got another little wing there. And then over here, got some more little frames. Another one of these little tags. And I used some more of that paper here. Back this little section up, and here's a little pocket. And then over here, this is a little element I made also a little while back, and I was just playing one day, and I hadn't used it yet, and I thought it would look good in here. And this album also, I used a little brown paper bag, and I stamped and flocked it on the edges. And then I made these little tags in here, and I used some kind of embossing. It's been a while, I can't remember, but it's like a clear, bumpy embossing powder I used on there. So it looks almost like frost. And then on the back, I distressed it, and I used some more flocking. I used black flocking to make these little designs, so they feel fuzzy. So I got those. And then I got this page here. Thought this was a really cool steampunk picture. And over here, these tags I made at the same time as the last item I showed you. I made these little tags, and I embossed them, put a little glitter on those too, and I hung some keys to that. And here's a Tim Holtz clasp on there. And this right here is one of the gears from Tim Holtz. And this right here flips up. So you could put a couple pictures in there, and then you could also use these frames here, this. And this paper here that I've used throughout the album, this is a Graphic 45 paper. This is from the Les Romantiques collection. And this goes really well with this steampunk collection too. And I got over here. This, I just made a pocket here. You can see, sorry about the wobbliness here. Got that. Then I got all these little pictures in there. Got that. There's some cool graphics that came with the steampunk collection. I got this little hot air balloon. And this paper, this came from Graphic 45. This was from that, and I don't remember what the collection was called, but the beach theme one. That was on that paper was from that. And then on the back it had some kind of beach graphics, so I backed it with black cardstock. But that color went really well too. There's another one of those Les Romantiques papers. And then I got this one. And I got this page. You could see that really well there. And here I got some mats. This one. I like that paper, the corsets. That one. I have that. And this page, this one's pretty simple. I thought this looked really beautiful, this paper. So I just left it the way it was, and I used my X-Acto knife and cut this so you could put a picture and journaling in there. And I got this page. Kind of cool too. And over here, I like this paper too, the balloons. That, and this flips open like that. So there's plenty of places to put pictures. A little place here for journaling. Then over here I have some emerald colored embossing powder, so I use that to stamp here. And I put this little graphic, and I cut this out. It's kind of this paper is really neat. It's green, shiny, and it's got little black flecks that are hard to see in there, but it's kind of pretty. That opens like that. And I use that green emerald embossing powder in here too to make a little journaling spot. And that opens up. And then this page here opens up like that. So a lot of flipping pages here. And then I got this one. And maybe one of my clips that you guys have all seen before. Read that one. Oops. Sorry about that. Jumped out of my hand. That. And here's what the page looked like. Embossed it again. Made a little frame. And I've got this guy. This is my favorite guy right here. This little frog. A steampunk frog. How cute is that? And I use that really neat green and black shiny paper for the inside. I got that. And I have this one. So I tried to make it as steampunky as I could. I hope I succeeded on that. And that's it. This will be available on my Etsy store. Thanks for looking, guys.